So Reed, I am super curious because I'm an amateur, I would say AI and robotics AI person. Like as an agency owner, I only use it like ChatGPT. That's pretty much the extent of what we do.
Sure.
However, a lot of people, clients and people that we know in the industry, both you and I, are curious about using AI, not just for like creating hooks or creating titles or creating content. It's more so now, and I'm curious to hear what your thoughts, because I've seen you geek out on this stuff when it comes to organic content growth. Are there tools out there that can help with organic content growth, like whether it's like SEO or videos? Because I think people kind of know now, like there's AI out there that can help you create the stuff, but how do we get more eyeballs on it?
Sure. I mean, one of the things that can get a lot of eyeballs is chopping your stuff up into a lot of little clips. So you've probably used tools like Opus Clip, and it'll take the video recording and chop it up and find the most engaging hook, and you can post that on social media. That's probably the easiest way for people to get started with something like that. And you could turn one podcast into 10 little videos, for instance. And so you got all these little videos that you could be putting out on YouTube and TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all these different places that could be all driving traffic to your main podcast. And so they get a little bit of a taste for what you have to say. They're like, oh, that's really interesting. I want to learn more. And then they might watch your whole episode.
Gotcha. A few weeks ago, I heard you on a call. I think there was a couple people on a call, and we were talking about SEO. A lot of people in podcasting want to have this idea of like, we take the transcript, we use it, create a blog, and it's going to get more eyeballs on our website.
For sure.
Are there SEO tools, or if there is, what are your favorite for improving the SEO and searchability of an article? And that you've seen work really well with people.
I mean, there's a lot of different things. Like you could take a transcript and even put in like Surfer SEO or even into like Search Atlas and improve it that way.
Search Atlas?
Search Atlas.
Okay.
They do a lot of stuff for kind of automating a lot of SEO on your website. It's like a plugin that gets installed, for instance, on your WordPress, and then it automatically updates a bunch of different things to help boost your rankings. So those are a couple different tools that people use it, not necessarily for podcasts, but for anything. It could be a blog post, whatever that they're putting up on their site.
Yep.
I've seen different workflows like in tools like MindPal where people have uploaded like their transcript or sent their like blog article to something like MindPal, and then it'll revamp it and tweak it and do all sorts of different changes to it, and you can totally customize your workflow for something like that. So that's a useful use case for something like that too.
I've heard you say MindPal a lot, just through Slack and the different communities we're in. What is MindPal? It's a rudimentary question, but
no, it's a great question. So MindPal kind of does a lot of different things, and I like all the different things it does. But in its basic form, it lets you create an AI agent. Now, I want you to think of their version of an AI agent as almost like a custom ChatGPT, because I would imagine most people listening to this have probably used ChatGPT or at least heard of ChatGPT. And in ChatGPT, at least if you have an upgraded plan, you can create your own custom GPTs, and these can be trained on your own things, and you can share those with other people or use them internally. So MindPal, you can create those GPTs and do stuff and interact with them, kind of like a chat, like you would with ChatGPT. But you can also string them together, so you can turn into a multi-agent workflow that's kind of daisy-chained, where one thing does something, then the next thing does something, and the next agent does something. So you get really good output. So, for instance, let's go, because you do podcasts, so maybe you have one where you upload the file from the recording, then maybe it would transcribe. So that'd be like an agent inside of MindPal that would do the transcription. Then you've got one that might go, oh, let's create the show notes, and it'll analyze the transcript, create the show notes. Then maybe it creates some promotional materials. Maybe it create, like another one might create like the title for the podcast to share on, YouTube or whatever you're putting your podcast on. And so then it can create all these different things for you where you don't really have to think.
So you can,
that's a useful thing with it.
I just want to back up there. You can have a MindPal agent really take the transcript or take the video and post it for you. Did I hear that correctly, or did I get that wrong? I think it'd be difficult. Okay. Yeah, like on YouTube, for example.
You would be tying into like Make or Zapier and sending like a webhook out to do it that way.
Yeah.
I think most people are probably just going to copy and paste the output.
Yeah, most likely.
It's a little more technical, an extra step. Now, they have added some stuff recently where MindPal can read these different tools that you want to integrate with, and it can look at like the API documentation. So that's application programming interface. So it's basically what allows these different things to communicate, talk to one another, and it can actually create those connections for you. Now, how good that is compared to the Maker's Zapier, which just specializes in that kind of stuff, they've already built a lot of workflows for it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, it's very early stages for it, but it's nice that they have it kind of built in now as a feature.
That's interesting. So yeah, because I've heard you talk about MindPal, and I'm like, this is a really powerful tool. I have zero clue as to what it is.
Sure. No, it's a lot of fun. It's one of those tools. Like I use a lot of different tools for automating things, but it's one of those tools that's easy to demo, and you don't have to be super technical to use. Like a lot of the ones I use.
Interesting. Yeah.
Super nerdy.
Yeah.
And so they've done a great job. It's made by a team in Vietnam, and they've done a fantastic job of making something that's relatively easy, yet still quite powerful.
Got it. I'm super interested in how you mentioned, and I think this is kind of where podcasting is going, is like you can have an AI do probably 80% of the work where a human would do that first. Do you see fully AI automated podcasts being a thing in the next 18 months, give or take? I don't know if you've seen those ones
like
where
the
it's
Notebook LM and stuff like that. I think we're going to see a ton of that because you can do really good voice cloning now with 11 Labs. So imagine if we fed it some content of ours, of our own, it could be doing this interview without us being here. Now it wouldn't have the video aspect of it yet. But then you got other tools like HeyGen that can replicate what someone looks like. And we could have a podcast that would be very similar. And we could be in the room actually listening to Perry right now. So it's kind of interesting what you can do and where things are going with that stuff. But I think the voice cloning is definitely a useful thing for that. I think Notebook LM gives us a really good example of it. And I don't know if people are familiar with it. Basically, you upload some content or you give it a URL. It'll read the information. And then it has an option where you can have two different voices that have a conversation, just like we're having right now, where they're conversing with one another. And it's like a radio show, and it's really cool. And you can guide that, too, because you can put your own prompts in there for how you want that to go with things. And then, like 11 Labs has had things to create their own version of that, where you can choose the voices you want. So that's where we're heading.
Okay, so have you seen any successful creators do that to date? Like YouTube channels or people that use it, like are using this full on now? And
not that I know of.
Okay.
Offhand, I mean, I have seen people that I'm like, that voice sounds slightly different than their earlier episodes. I'm wondering if that's AI kind of thing, because it's not quite there, and it's maybe a mic issue, or I'm just like hypersensitive to it and go, that's not quite how they sound, kind of thing.
Right.
But it's close enough that if you didn't know them super well,
you wouldn't tell.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah. We did an episode. It was 18 minutes long, fully AI. It was a little character of me. It was an AI voice. I gave it a script. It took us like 40 or 50 hours to do.
Wow.
It was a lot of work on my team because we were just starting from scratch. We had to train the AI.
Sure.
I'm hoping it gets faster now, but writing the script was really cool because you could really dive into and nerd out on the script and not worry about the creative, or not worry about the sound or presenting, because you're going to have all that happen by AI, which is really cool because I can just focus on one thing, and that's writing a really good script. Notebook LM. If you were to do an AI podcast, like a fully AI podcast with voice, what would be the AI tools you would pick to do the task? I'm sure it's more than one.
Yeah, it'd be more than one. Like I really like using APIs and tying them together because I like to have a more hands-off experience.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a real good idea with it, like with MindPal, just to give people a good understanding. I would probably create a workflow where I would have it, maybe I'd give it kind of like the topic of what I want to do.
Yeah.
Based off the topic, it would create an outline for the show. Then based off that outline, it would maybe come up with some good questions and research some statistics. So you could have kind of like the
data behind it.
The data for not only for the guest, but also the host. So the AI would know the information, so to speak. And then what I would do, because you can tie in different APIs now, is I would probably tie it in with 11 Labs for the guest and host to create their audio tracks. And then they also have a built-in integration now with HeyGen. So then I would pipe that information over to HeyGen, so it would have not only the audio that went with it, but the video that would go with it. And so that would be a totally autonomous podcast, for instance. And then after that, I would have it where I would create all the promotional materials to start putting that on
Social,
YouTube,
yeah.
Facebook, everything.
That's crazy. That you can do it end to end.
End to end is
Yeah.
how I do it.
Yeah. I'd assume most people would want to keep control of the creative, like the words being said. Mostly, I know I would. So you could probably do that as well. Feed the script into into MindPal
Yep.
and have it kind of go, and then they could feed it to 11 Labs. I'm
Yes.
assuming.
So a lot of the things that I do in MindPal, I just let it go autonomously.
Uh-huh.
But you can have it like require human approval kind of
Right,
thing. So
I see.
could stop it at that point once the script is generated, read the script and go, yeah, it's not quite right, or that
Right.
I want that to sound a little different.
True.
And then it can go to the next step once I make those tweaks.
Gotcha. Okay, that we're gonna have to nerd out on that in a separate conversation to talk about that. With Trump coming into office in 2025, do you see any potential like things from a external like government perspective, like blocking AI or anything that scares you, or it's like something to keep an eye out for people who use AI on the internet?
It's always something to keep an eye out. Like I think
Sure.
we're in the age where deepfakes are getting really easy to make. We're going to have people that, because voice cloning is so easy to do now,
Yeah.
that people are going to be getting a call from their grandson kind of thing, but it's really not their grandson. And
Right.
saying, oh, I need money to get out of jail or whatever. And grandma's going to wire them some money, but
Yeah.
it's not going to their grandchild. So we're going to see more and more of that stuff. We're going to see people creating videos, not only of politicians, but of everyday people that
True.
get posted online. I can't believe what they did, kind of thing. And it's just someone that's got a vendetta against you. It could be an ex or something that
Right.
doesn't like you, but there might be some real world repercussions with that. You might get fired from your job,
Right.
for instance, because
Right.
people think you now have an OnlyFans or something. Something
Yeah.
obscure that someone else has been doing everything
Yeah.
to bring you down.
Yeah. So you guys see an OnlyFans page of me, it's fake.
You should sign up.
Just know that. Yeah,
Definitely
just
sign
sign up. It's definitely fake. Okay, that's interesting to hear and just to see. Like, yeah, I've heard some of those, scary stories, but yeah, as the AI and the deep fakes get easier to clone, I can see it could be a huge problem. So the AI podcasting thing is really interesting. Are there any tools? I want to circle back to this as well. For anyone you know or that you've worked with or seen, is anyone doing something really cool in the AI, in the growth space of like, I have organic content, I'm using some kind of AI tool besides the ones you mentioned to get more eyeballs on it? Anything else you've seen there?
There's like video.ai, I think, is one that's kind of
Similar to Opus? Okay.
that does stuff that I've seen. There's a lot of things for like cleaning up your podcast,
Right.
like, and making editing easier, and that's
Yeah, huge.
as you know, that's a huge issue.
Lift.
So you got
Yep.
things like clean voice that can remove like the stammers and ums and ahs and filler words and stuff like that.
Yep.
You got Adobe Podcasts that can make things seem like a professional
Great
studio
tool.
environment.
Yep.
You've got Descript, which has its overdub feature. So if you misspoke on something, you can tweak the
voice.
numbers or whatever and
Yeah.
just change that, and you can type that in kind of thing, and it
Yeah.
sounds just like you. And you can also edit based off of the words on the page, so you don't have to be like a video editor or an audio
True.
editor and know the waveform stuff. You can just go, oh yeah, I want to delete that paragraph and delete it, and that edits that section of the video.
True.
So those are different things that I think we're going to see more and more people using
Got it.
as time goes on.
Okay. One thing I'll say I've been testing is audiencelift.com.
Yeah, I think
which
I saw you
is
post about that.
Yeah, audiencelift.com. So basically it's going to you create a 2-minute or 90-second ad or audio clip of your podcast. Think of like a highlight reel. And it's going to take that based on your like criteria. You can say like what countries, you can say what type of audience, like male, female. You can look at, I want to say different age groups as well. And basically it'll put your audio ad, you upload the audio version and also a little like a little creative, like a graphic. Usually you put your podcast artwork and it'll put it on contextually relevant websites or articles.
Nice.
So if we have a podcast about AI and we put an ad on there, we can have it show up in other AI blogs.
I like it.
Or things like on Forbes, on CNN, on Fox News. So different places where they're talking about AI, it's like, oh, here's an ad or about a podcast that Lewis and Reed did on this exact same topic.
Sure.
So we tested that last month. We got like 22,000 downloads from it,
Nice.
which is pretty cool. And now all those people are going to come back? No. But are they? We also got over 2,000 push subscribers. So based on what I've learned, you can, when you like upload a new podcast in those 30 days after you run that ad, you can actually get a push notification out to those people who subscribed, and it'll say, "Hey, there's new podcasts out about this topic,"
Sure.
which is pretty cool. And it'll get people over to your feed.
Very cool.
So it's, I think it's minimum $500 ad spend. So it's not the cheapest, but it does. If you have a budget for this, you can do that every month with your best episode.
For sure. And
You
I
know.
mean, depending on what your funnel is of things you're selling, like
Yeah.
one sale might pay for that.
Why? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And if you want more downloads, if you're looking to grow your downloads for like advertising or sponsors, that's also a great way to do it. But you have to do it over and over again, I think.
Sure.
It's like
Consistency.
going to the gym. Like you're not going to get it once. So
Sucks. Yeah. They sell that.
right, that'll be over.
Line.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of the main thing with that. But audiencelift.com, check it out. That's definitely one. They say it's AI powered. I don't really know exactly how, but they say it's AI powered. But they put your content in front of relevant blog posts and articles.
Nice. Yeah. So kind of like Google Ads, where you can have banners on relevant content and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah. MindPal was one. I'll end it here. What are you specifically using MindPal for? That's giving you the most bang for your buck, most ROI. It doesn't have to be money. It can be like time as
probably
well.
a lot of content creation. So
What form?
Like for instance, well, recently I spoke at AI Bot Summit and I gave out access to a tool I created in MindPal that basically it would read the link to the affiliate offer that you're promoting. It would analyze the offer, come up with like a blog post outline, create the blog post for you, create video scripts. You could create a video about the tool, like
nice.
reviewing it, the product, create some, did the blog post I think I talked about, it would do social media posts and like emails. So you
Wow.
would have all these promotional materials based off of the actual offer you're promoting.
Right.
And it's all unique to you, and it's written in a similar style to how the sales copy is written, because it'll analyze that, so it's using kind of the same language. And so you could promote said tool, just copy and paste those things and put in your affiliate link and start driving some traffic, making some sales that way. So for instance, I had all my automations turned off for MindPal last week, and I talked late on Wednesday or whatever.
Yeah.
I got the email yesterday saying how many hours were saved. It was 399 hours that tool saved.
Holy cow.
Members that watched that presentation and took action and used it in just a matter of days. Now, my best week with MindPal is like 3,683 hours that I've saved in time. So,
Wow.
That's a lot of people if you're putting people on like a 40-hour work week.
Yeah.
Of how much time I can save with a tool like that.
Big time. And I love that you've built this around an affiliate marketing, like a way to make affiliate sales. As a podcaster, you're like, one of the nice secondary revenue streams you have is bringing guests on or promoting a tool that your audience finds relevant and useful. And the way that tool can create like email and social copy and even video scripts is really, really helpful. Because I do episodes all the time around like certain tools that we like that are working, and then we promote them. So that's really, really cool. If people want to learn, I don't know if it's for sale or whatever it is,
No, I'll
but
give it to them for free.
where can people find out more about it?
AutomatedAImarketer.com, and they can
AutomatedAImarketer.com.
they can
Heard it there. Okay,
get an
cool.
account for that and start using it.
That'd be awesome. That's super cool. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Great. Audience Lift and other tools we talked about here, they're things we're using in our business, so I'd like to promote them. Reed, for people who want to know more about what you do in the affiliate and then the AI/robotics space, where can they learn more about you?
I mean, I would grab that tool to that AutomatedAImarketer.com, or also just follow me on social media. I'm probably active the most on Facebook.
Okay.
Just because that's where a lot of my friends and family and stuff are. So
Yeah.
that's where I spend most of my time.
Got it. Reed, Reed, and then the last name, FL.
Floren.
Floren. Okay. All right, cool. Awesome. Dude, thank you so much for coming out, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.